Hello, everybody, and welcome to Press X to Revolution, episode 7. What did I say? Something wrong already?
No,
Okay.
this is my happy face.
Oh, sorry. Press X to Revolution, episode 7 for September 15th, 2021. They liked my guest starring on the episode last week so much that I'm the host now. Yay!
It doesn't take much, honestly. Like, Alan, if Alan is the bar, like...
So this is Press X Revolution. This is just regular dudes making a video game podcast. Do you know that all the video game journalists that you watch on regular websites are just working from home now? We can do a lot of what they do, and so we're doing it, I guess. And we're talking about video games. We're trying to have interesting conversations, talk about what we're playing and whatnot. My name is Michael, and this here is Andrew. We've been friends forever.
Literally. Oh man, we're getting old. Like longer we're at a point where we have now known each other longer than like we've not known each other.
How many podcasts hours have we recorded together? It's been many hours.
Hundreds, maybe like at least hundreds. Like it's
easily.
Yeah. There's some content.
We've recorded podcasts together literally since we graduated high school. Anyway, what have you been playing this week? Let's just jump right into the video games we've been playing.
Yeah, absolutely. Hasn't changed a lot for me specifically.
I'm gonna go ahead and update everybody. Last week, Andrew talked about how he was playing City Skylines and he was a crime lord. Is that slumlord?
No, absolutely not. I'm just an earnest businessman trying to make his way through the world.
But there was a problem with like the number of dead bodies in people's houses, and
there's a lot of problems.
Traffic and crime.
I've sent you plenty of screenshots. If you ever decide to share some of them here, then you can. But man, my city has. You know what, though? I still get tweets all the time about my city. I'm like, man, this place is a great place to visit. I can't wait to come back. And I'm just glad that they didn't go to certain parts of my town because it is some places are not super great. When you get tweets sent out about your city, it's like, what does a dead body smell like? There might be something wrong with my neighbor next door.
This is City Skylines. It's very similar. I mean, it's the indie version of SimCity, essentially.
Yes, essentially.
Did you play the old SimCities?
So my first introduction to SimCity was SimCity 2000 on Windows 98. My dad had a copy.
I remember that.
Yeah. That game was way over my head as a child. I did not understand what I was doing.
It's probably still over my head.
But the first time I actually got into a SimCity was SimCity for the DS, which
it's amazing to me that this exists.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
it's all EA. It doesn't look all. Dude, the old SimCity games looked like serious. Like they were serious business. That looks like a kid's game.
Oh no. What was cool about this game, as I'm looking at the back, you can kind of see the DS had that bottom screen, so you could actually use your stylus for like zone planning and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. But that was the first like SimCity game I ever got into. Really hard, and I really enjoyed it. But yeah, City Skylines. I got back into it with Pocket City. I was like, I have pulled out an old phone. I was like, oh yeah, I remember that game. I should play it again. So I got back into that. And City Skyline is like that, but like amped up to like 11.
How does Skylines do at onboarding? Like, is there like it sounds like you just jumped in. Is there a mode to like learn things gradually or
There's not. There's not. And that would probably be my biggest complaint with the game. For a long time, I struggled with. I mean, you kind of figure out the basics, and you screw up a lot at the beginning. This is my second or third city because I kept scrapping stuff in the beginning. As I kept like, I think I understand this, like how power works. Like they don't really explain to you how power works, and so you kind of have to work through some of that yourself. And then YouTube tutorials. There's a whole channel dedicated. There's a lot of just like, oh, this is how like you build roads that go over and under like other structures and stuff like that, which is super useful.
When that game came out, I was listening to the Idle Thumbs podcast, and there were some people on that show that were just obsessed with that game. And it's very deep, and it's also like, I don't want to say it's perfectly accurate because I know nothing about building cities or planning cities.
Yeah,
but I know that like they were talking about articles and videos that have been put out by actual city planners who did stuff that would work in real life in the game, and it totally worked. And it seems really detailed, like kind of like Kerbal. Like when you see like an actual astronaut like play Kerbal, they make it look like a baby game.
Yeah, well, the one thing I've heard about Kerbal is it doesn't nail everything. but it nails enough of things extremely well to the point where it's like you actually do learn things about that game. And if City Skylines is actually like that, for like, maybe I should just apply for my local city administrator job. Maybe you'll see me in the polls next year. But
oh my goodness.
Anyway, it's like my resume is just City Skylines for like 6 months. But no, so I've run into lots of situations. Like, I think last week I talked about my traffic woes, and it's like, man, that influx to my city is just nothing but a traffic jam. And I've gotten a lot better at it, and I'm still learning that aspect. At one point, I basically like demoed an entire like section of my city because like I just had to build an interstate. Like, there's just no good way to like fix this. And so
how many people did you kick out of their homes to do that?
A lot of people were very unhappy with me when they're all of a sudden I just like put up their apartment building or home demo.
Did you get put up for a recall election?
No, I haven't actually. I'm still my sensors are very happy. Actually right now. And that's the weird thing too. It's just like, so on the world map, if you have a dead body, like it'll show lots of things of like there's crime happening in certain places. And so like icons will start popping up on the map. So it's like, hey, this is like maybe a high crime rate area. But then like there's like this skull and crossbones that just show up in random buildings around my city. And it's literally like, there's a dead person here. And so a hearse needs to come and pick up the body, which is normal. Like, it's not necessarily a bad thing. The problem is when your traffic is so bad and you don't have enough hearses so that they can't get to everybody on time. And so like bodies just start piling up. And then that's when you start getting tweets from like, hey, something smells weird in my apartment, in the apartment next door. What do I got to do about this?
I'm pretty sure you sent me a screenshot of just a bunch of graveyards.
I've got this one section of my city that's just a bunch of graveyards and crematoriums all in like one area. So I'm going to
ask something really dark.
Yes.
Can you upgrade the graveyards to just increase the density so you could just bury more people there? Like,
no,
that's really messed up.
No, what you do, because they do fill up.
Can they bunk bed like double up?
Then what you do is it's really bad because the landfill has this same feature because the landfills will get full. And so you basically just click a button to empty them. And so basically hearses just start leaving your graveyards and coming back empty.
Dude, that's X-Files crap. What the frick is going on in your town?
At first, I'm like, okay, so they're taking the body to the crematoriums. Like, we're doing this humanely and disposably. But the hearses aren't all going to crematoriums, I don't think. So I haven't tracked one yet. They could just be going to the river. I have no idea. Like, it's just a horror show in my place. In order to solve that problem, I found that it's very easy. You just demo the building, and then it gets rid of the dead body too. And so that's a really good way to solve that problem. But anyway, in order to solve some of my traffic problems to get the hearses out more quickly, I basically had to start demoing large parts of my city because I realized that the streets that I had put in those sections for like large apartment buildings were like little 2-lane like side street roads. So I basically put a bunch of like actual normal homes and neighborhoods in those places. And then I started building like actual 4-lane sections of my city to actually put large parts. And so it's really interesting. I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's a really good game to just have on the go and just kind of passively play it. I'll usually have like TV on in the background and just kind of just chilling and hanging out.
The thing about City Skylines that I think is an interesting larger topic is it is a really good example of a game that was made by a AAA company. It's been around for a long time, namely SimCity, like we talked about. And a version came out that wasn't very good.
No.
And an independent developer just said, we'll do it better. And they did it. And so now, like, I don't think there's even been another SimCity. I don't know of any rumor for another SimCity because City Skylines answered that. It scratched that itch for everybody.
And they're still releasing DLC and content updates for that game. I don't know when the last content update was, so but it's been a while. But there's lots of DLC for that game that has just continued to come out and just continue to kind of fill that void.
The reason why I think this is interesting is because it's not the only isolated incident of a indie game coming along and just taking a AAA game's lunch and becoming the AAA. Like it It basically eliminates the AAA game. The biggest example that I had pointed out to me this last week was who gives a crap about Harvest Moon? Because Stardew Valley came out and
I was literally going to bring up Stardew Valley. Absolutely.
Stardew Valley came out and wrecked Harvest Moon, added lots more interactive parts to the gameplay, added the whole mine feature and everything. And now nobody cares. Like, I think other games like that have come out and no one cares because Harvest Moon ate that lunch. I'm sure if the Harvest Moon 2 was announced, it'd be like massive because I know tons of people that love that game. But
Stardew Valley that's on my list of just one of these days when I'm in the mood. I'm just gonna pick it up on my Switch and
I'm afraid of it, frankly. Yeah.
Are you gonna get on the Switch or where'd you get
I own it on the Switch and PC.
You do own it? Oh, you own it already.
I'm just afraid of it.
I might already. No, I'm trying to think if I own.
I buy games to keep them happy.
I think I've only done that with a couple things in my life. Alan Wake is one of them.
Yeah.
Where I've just bought multiple copies because it's always cheap. And it's just I'm gonna throw Remedy money. That's fine.
Yeah, I bought Harvest Moon just to placate it. So I didn't have to play it, but I made it happy enough to just sit unplayed and it didn't yell at me anymore.
Yeah. I have that problem. Like when we talk about games that we have we forget about. I have that problem with the Epic Games stuff because they're always like, here's a new game. And sometimes I'll just go through and I'll scroll through the list of everything that I have through there that they've just given away for free. And it's like, oh, I forgot I own this. I was trying to remember if Stardew Valley ever came out on Epic, but I don't think it did.
Jeff Grubb he does a lot of indie stuff. He does some work for lots of different publications, including Giant Bomb. Postulated, do you think Pokemon will get Stardew Valley'd sometime?
Ooh.
It's hard to know because Pokemon is so identified with those characters, but Pokemon is so stank with its lack of gameplay innovation that it's ripe for something to come along and actually make a good, more interesting battle system.
I got the Pokemon.
No offense to Alan's turn-based love.
I got a real itch for some Pokemon after I bought my Switch, and I was like, "What should I get? I was like debating: do I go Sword and Shield or do I go Let's Go?" And as I was looking between the two, I just kind of was like, I don't know. And then they announced Legends of Arceus, which that is the game for sure. That's the game
that people are hoping.
I really hope
it fixes some of these problems, and I'm optimistic. But I'm not sure what to think. I'm wondering, like, what other types of AAA games that have been around a long time are waiting for an indie game to come along and eat their lunch, and I don't know. But I love that idea, and we don't always get to talk about as many indie games. Alan doesn't play as many indie games, but
one thing I think that is kind of close, and it's kind of changed recently, but the flight sim world was being run by X-Plane for many years.
True.
That was the game that every if you wanted, because Microsoft, they released, I think what was it called? It was like Microsoft, was it Flight Sim 2010? I'm trying to remember what it was called. I can't remember. It was like a Steam edition, but it wasn't really well received. Like, it was just like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. And then X-Plane just for years just was eating up the sim space. And then Microsoft Flight Simulator came out, the new one, and that game has just taken over. I feel like that scene. I love that game. That game is amazing. But I feel like that's another example of where something like that was actually happening. I'm trying to think of some other genres.
It's Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite is going to get indied.
So that one of my first thoughts was like Call of Duty, and it's like I don't think you can
those
indie.
Games. The problem with those games is they require the AAA production value.
But I don't think you can indie a shooter these days. Like, not like a modern
they require way too much 4K assets.
The one thing that I will say, what was the name of that game? I'm gonna look it up.
I'm sure someone in the comments will have great answers.
Yeah, there was one shooter that was actually put up by an indie. It was like Rainbow Six Siege meets like Ghost Recon, but it was made by an indie developer. Know what you're
talking about? It's the Rainbow Six or it's the Rainbow.
I just added
to my
Spies
versus Mercenaries
0 Hour.
Splinter Cell one, yeah,
is the name of this game. Someone was telling me about it recently. So it's on my wish list. Do you want to
get excited to play it with me and we both buy it and then I never play with you?
Well, it's okay if you want to do that, because I know that I'll have other people who will buy this game and play it with me, even if you don't. But no, it's only $12.
Dude, are you saying you've replaced me?
Place 2 years ago, man.
What the frick, man?
I've had to.
What the frick, man?
My own sanity has required it. No, it's only $12 on Steam right now, brand new. It's still technically early access, but reviews are like very positive, recent, and all.
I
So
heard good things about it.
I want to check this game out at some point. So maybe we get Alan on his PC. I bet you even his computer could run this thing.
I don't know if he'll play shooters though.
I bet he'd play with us.
He would play.
Post in the comments if you want Alan to play a shooter.
If you want to
Michael
see,
and myself.
if you want to see us record a video with Alan playing a shooter, dude, do you remember back in the day we used to play Rainbow Six Vegas 2?
Oh yeah, dude.
And I used to be a little scream like a little girl boy.
Terrorist Hunt was where it was at.
Terrorist Hunt was one of the great hallmarks of cooperative multiplayer gaming with me and my friend group.
Yes, I feel like we have multiple hallmarks of just co-op gaming throughout our past.
Yeah, man. Terrorist Hunt is so good though.
Terrorist Hunt was definitely one of them. The game was also so cheap at the time. You get like a 360 copy of Rainbow Six Vegas for like $5, and you can just lose like.
I also played the game at release. When I played it with you, it was my second round.
Yeah, like I think you did. I think you were the one that bought me Left 4 Dead. Also, I think you're just like, hey, I want to play this with you. Here's a copy.
Oh, dude, there's so many Left 4 Dead clones now. Heck, Rainbow Six Extraction's coming out.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call that a Left 4 Dead clone though. That's more of like Siege meets zombies. It's the gameplay.
It ties into the. Dude, I bet there's a fat zombie, and when you shoot him, he blows up and attracts other zombies.
Do you think that Left 4 Dead just kind of started all of that, like with the zombie class system of? I'm trying to think of zombie games.
What Left 4 Dead did was it took 4-player versus hordes and made that a genre, and that's a thing now.
What was the name of that game that they tried to make with dinosaurs? Turtle Rock made it. It wasn't very good.
Wait, Evolve?
Evolve. Yep.
Evolve that was amazing in concept.
And concept
wasn't super fun.
It was kind of like Left 4 Dead meets Monster Hunter in some ways.
It was like a mixture. Yeah, it was a lot. Actually, that's a really good comparison. Instead of the hordes of zombies, the player played as a giant monster, and you had to chase him over this world, kind of like Monster Hunter, but it was a shooter. That game concept is amazing, but yeah, it really, really flopped, huh?
Yeah, it went free to play at some point. Oh, I haven't played that game in years.
But can you?
Oh, I bet.
Like, is it even around anymore?
Oh, I totally bet you can. I'm gonna check right now.
Man, see, I'm thinking back in the days when they used to drop MMOs like crazy, and then they would shut MMOs down. Speaking of which,
so no, when you search for Evolve on Steam, it just comes up with Ark Survival Evolved, and then like a couple of like Evolve games, but like Evolve itself does not come up.
There was a lot of postulation about the Matrix 4 movie that just got teased, that the Matrix MMORPG is canon. Did you hear that crap?
No, I did not hear about this.
So I have a spoiler for the Matrix MMORPG that's closed and you can't play it anymore. Morpheus dies. But he's not in the trailer for the 4th movie. So people are speculating that game might be canon. Because Morpheus is not in the trailer for 4.
Lawrence Fishburne is not in the trailer for 4. They have a new Morpheus-like caricature.
But it's not Lawrence Fishburne.
He's wearing the same glasses. Like I really want to know what they're going for.
Dude, when I watched the trailer, I watched it without sound, and I thought it was a remake.
And it's just one of those fan-made trailers, like for the Obi-Wan TV show.
No, I thought it was a reboot, but I was like, "Is this the same?" Because they were hitting Neo the pills, and I'm like, "What's going on?"
Yeah, well, he's eating the blue pills. He's doing it.
I love the Matrix 1. Is my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah, we should do a separate podcast. We're just talking about that trailer because, man.
Anyway,
so yeah, cities.
Played anything else?
City planning, still a learning experience. No, not really. I'm still into Overwatch. That's kind of the game I play on the side. When my friends get on, it's like, hey, let's play games. Like Overwatch is the game that we go to.
Yeah.
We may get at that game. I loved that game when it came out, and I put so many hours into it. And I'm not competitive level by any means, but it's just still so much fun. And I love the point that you made last week, where that game is designed in such a way that even if you're not good at shooters, there is still something rewarding and actually critical to the team that you can do to win a match. And I just think it's a testament to how
I mean,
well designed that game is.
It's walking on the path that Team Fortress 2 laid, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But even Team Fortress 2, I feel like was like, I think Overwatch took that and then like exceeded.
I mean, Blizzard did what Blizzard does, and I know that some people don't love this, but Blizzard took something that already existed and just made it way better, which is kind of what they do.
Although I will say they will never top in my heart the Team Fortress 2 trailers. Those will always, Valve will always win on those. So, nice. Yeah, no, that's kind of it. What have you been playing anything lately?
I beat Mario Tennis. The demon mind control tennis racket that mind controlled Luigi accidentally. I beat that game. Mario Tennis is hard sometimes.
Yeah, I would almost
like I play a lot of freaking Mario games. I play a lot of freaking kids games lately. There were some freaking levels of Mario Tennis that were just flipping hard.
I would almost say unfair, honestly.
Well, they are actually unfair. Like, how far did you get in the campaign?
I got up onto the snow mountain and I beat that boss, and then I came down the other side, and I think I had started on the next like section of matches after that. But there were times where I was just like playing, and I really felt like I was just pounding my head. I'd be on my lunch break, and I'd be just playing these matches, and just trying to like just banging my head, hoping for just a break that some of these balls would just start going my way. Because multiple times I felt like it was just like, yeah, I don't know how this is possible. Like some of those matches, I still think I just lucked through.
They want you to get good in a way that like I eventually did. I got pretty good at the game, but like most Mario games or games that are focused at kids don't make you get that good. Like, okay, I beat Mario Golf the week before.
Yeah,
Mario Golf is never hard.
Yeah,
like if I'm probably better at Mario Golf than I am at Mario Tennis just because I play more golf games.
Sure.
But I never had any problems beating Mario Golf. Mario Tennis, there was a level I was stuck on essentially for 3 days. And like it's playing for a little bit and then the kids go to bed. But it's like, what the frick do they expect children to do? There was a level that
game was not made
hard.
It wasn't made for children. Like that game was made for like grown men who love Mario and want to play Waluigi in a tennis match.
I like no. Frick no, don't play Waluigi. But that game it's good though. I got good at it and I beat it.
I don't know if how I feel about it. Like I don't know if I would say it was.
I don't know if the campaign is good.
If we're saying good is like 7 out of 10, I would give it that.
I don't know if the campaign is amazing, but I played a decent number of just doubles matches with my brother-in-law when he was out, and I had a lot of fun just playing like regular tennis modes.
I think golf is better. Yes, I think it's a better adaptation of that.
It's
thing.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But additionally, I beat quote unquote the campaign.
Did you beat the golf campaign?
No, I did that last week. WarioWare, the new WarioWare game.
Did you actually get? Is it out?
Yeah, it came out Friday.
Oh shoot, I need to get that.
So the campaign is basically a glorified tutorial. But it's good. Like it's very good. The only downside with the game is that it's a game. It's a game made by Nintendo, essentially. Like, do you remember when when Trials Evolution first came out on the Xbox, and we actually had multiple people that played it, and we'd all like try to freaking beat each other's scores, and we did the same thing with Orcs Must Die, like games with online leaderboards where you can compete with your friends and not just every random person online. If WarioWare had that, because like if Nintendo knew the internet existed and that it was fun to play against your friends,
friend codes,
it would be awesome, because I would love to be like, dude, I'm gonna beat you at WarioWare. I'm gonna get a higher score than you.
Didn't Mario Maker do some of that? I mean, the online invitation was garbage.
Yes,
but like
it didn't have like leaderboards. I don't think it may have for sub levels. I don't know. If WarioWare allowed me to just be like, hey, all my friends that own WarioWare, I want to see their scores, and every time I beat them, or they beat me, I want it to kind of have us notify each other so we can try to beat each other's WarioWare scores. Because
Yeah.
WarioWare is fun to play, but we don't have anything to compete against. It's hard. And when you're playing the campaign and you're learning all the characters, that's fun. But what do you do once you've done that? You just play it a bunch of times, but you don't have anything driving you. And there's like I think every day, if not every couple days, there's a challenge that cycles, and it's a hard challenge and it changes the rules up and it's fun. But like I can't compete with my friends' leaderboards. I can't do what I would want to do with the game that has high scores. Like I want to be able to. What's that other game that came out with the PlayStation 4? Resogun. We played that a while.
Oh yeah.
And we'd like compare scores to Resogun. Like
Yep.
I want to be able to do that because this is the type of game that's an arcade game essentially. But
Did we compare scores in Resogun? I thought we just played that co-op all the time.
I think we did.
Did we?
That game was just my own scores. I don't know.
Baller. No matter. I don't
Resogun's a rad game. Yes. And WarioWare is a rad game. I think it's really cool. I like so there's like, I don't know, we'll say 15 different characters, and each character has different mechanics. So not only when the micro game starts do you have to figure out what the frick is going on in the game and then do it, you have to remember what your character's abilities are. And that's a really interesting concept, and it's really cool. There's a lot of homage in the game to classic Nintendo games, classic WarioWare mini games. Like the game is really, really good. I just don't know what to do when I can't play like high score versus you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I was talking to someone about this recently. A lot of why I play video games anymore is for the social interaction. Like I like video games and I like to play them, but for me, if you add a decent social interaction, whether that is couch co-op, whether that is online multiplayer, or even something simple as just like good leaderboards so that you can compete in something with your friends, like that is something that means something to me, and that will motivate me even that much further to get in your game and playing it. A lot of the games I own are literally just for word of mouth, and you've been like, yeah, dude, this game's awesome, you should get it. Like that. And I just, so much of the culture is more about just like,
you also have
online.
You have the ability to be good at, like, you play COD, you play Titanfall, you play, what was that other game? The epic one about battle royales. What the frick was that game called?
Apex.
Apex Legends, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like you actually are, but you were decent at shooters, so like you can. Those types of games, which are ones that I and Alan usually avoid, you actually have fun at those games because you can compete. I was okay at Destiny online, but most of those games I am not.
I downloaded Destiny again.
Oh, good for you.
I met a dude, and he was like, "Dude, Destiny it was bad, but now it's good again."
I like Destiny.
I was curious, and so I downloaded it.
I liked Destiny 1 and 2. I could have gotten way more into those games, but I chose a different life path.
When we talk about social interactions for me in video games, Destiny 2's raid, where we killed Calyx, I think was his name, and like the fat emperor boy, was one of the best moments of video games of my life. Like the moment of that. You weren't there.
Yeah, I wasn't there. Thank you.
I had other moments with you.
We played the first game.
We'll always have Smo and Ornstein.
Yeah. Frick.
But beating Destiny 2's raid was like one of the coolest things ever for me. Like because it was a thing where it was fun to play, but it was also the mechanics of that raid were really fun to execute. Some of them were really glitchy, and you had to be very careful in how you approach them. But it was still the moment when we finally pulled it off after like 6-7 hours of raiding, and that was us literally just like watching all of us were watching the videos and like studying how this all works. But when we executed it, it was such an amazing experience, and Destiny 2 will always hold that for me. But I don't have very many, if any, friends who actively play Destiny anymore, and if that game is just, it suckered me into every expansion that it releases because I want to love Destiny so bad.
I'm so glad that Destiny did for you. You can now understand my obsession with WoW because Destiny did for you what WoW did for me, which is the raid experience when you co-op complete a raid or some sort where it's like this massive time sink, but you compete it as a group. And then you're like, frick, I love this game. And then you keep playing it even when you can't recreate that experience.
It was going to be a shooter that was going to do it for me. I mean, we all knew
Yeah.
this was, it was,
Well,
that was the
that's
only
why
way
I like
this was gonna
Destiny,
happen.
because it's,
Yeah, me
it's
too.
an MMO.
Exactly. But it was just, they've suckered me into every expansion, and I'll like, oh, I want to love Destiny. And then I play the expansion, like, oh, like there's so much grinding, and I don't really actually don't have any friends who actively play this anymore. So
I played way more Destiny 1 than I should have. And
Destiny 2.
Part of that was because I was on medication for wisdom teeth.
I forgot about that.
But I played so much freaking Destiny 1.
You were on meds when you played Destiny 1. I remember you. I remember you talking about Destiny 1. Just like, dude, it's so good.
Dude, when I was on medication and I would just go into I think it was the moon, where you could just go down into the ground. Like you keep going deeper and deeper in caves.
That level's in Destiny 2 now.
I would just go there with a shotgun. And I have never had more pure bliss playing a video game than being under the influence of pain medication while using a shotgun in Destiny 1.
I wish I was
so good.
I wish we had video footage we could just cut to.
I've never played a shooter that felt so good.
I remember you saying
Destiny is a good shooter, dude.
It really is. Like Bungie is like, as far as the shooting goes, I think it's great. The content, however, I think is where they're extremely lacking.
Well,
what I need to do is just find
a story problem. They've always had a story.
Oh, that story's so bad.
Oh my goodness. But dude, the level in Destiny 2 where you're on a giant dock and the whole thing is like water all around you or whatever.
Oh yeah. Titan. Yep. Titan is
so
cool, dude. There's a pretty level in the newest expansion in Destiny 2. It's like a snow planet. It's and that place is pretty too. Like the beauty factor of those levels, the level design, just from a graphical standpoint, that game looks amazing.
How happy would you be if they announced a Titanfall 3 though?
Oh yeah, that's Titanfall 3 is the game I drop everything for, and just play Titanfall. Like, did you remember the song?
Titanfall 3 or Alan Wake 2?
But my game's actually gonna come out.
Oh, too soon.
But do you remember the week when we got into Titanfall 2? I think it was the week before your sister's wedding.
We were supposed to get into Titanfall 2, but we actually spent a whole week playing baseball.
Yeah.
You basically were living at my house, and we were planning on playing Titanfall 2. We bought all the Mountain Dew cans that had Titanfall 2 codes.
Yeah.
And then I accidentally...
We just loaded baseball.
Playing Super Mega Baseball Extra Innings. And we beat a whole season instead of playing Titanfall 2, listening to Top 40 Radio, drinking Titanfall 2 Mountain Dew.
Dude, like it was a crazy week because you and I worked together at the same job at the time. So we literally just like lived together.
We would work together, go home together, and then we freaking took a 16-hour road trip together.
Dude, that was a week. I'll never forget that week.
Batch week forever. Hashtag batch week.
So no, Titanfall 3. That game is. There's rumors that they're actively working on it right now. It's going to be really hard because Titanfall 2 set the bar so high for me personally from what I want out of a Titanfall 3. I don't know how they can exceed it. I don't know how they can meet it, but that's why I'm not a game designer. So it's just we'll see what they can do. If anyone can do it though, I think Respawn is definitely the right studio for that. What they've done with their titles, I think, is just outstanding.
I suck at the multiplayer, but there's actually a decent campaign in the game, and also the game feels real good too. The game feels real good to play.
There's a level towards the end of that campaign where you get basically an auto pistol, and you're just sprinting through this level because it's literally like you're just
like jumping off the walls too.
And you come around a corner and the pistol's literally just auto locking on all the enemies, and all you have to do is pull the trigger, and it feels so good.
That game has a lot of good levels, like the level where you can switch realities or whatever, and you jump in between the walls, switch realities. Yeah. Dude, that was the game I was like, is this a freaking Half-Life game? Yeah. Am I playing Half-Life?
Yeah. Half-Life 3 will come out before Alan Wake 2 comes out.
It's great, dude. What the frick? Why you're attacking me while I'm down? Alan Wake Remastered is coming out. I don't know if you saw the screenshots for that, but it doesn't look that HD.
No,
I'm gonna love it anyway.
I'll probably still buy it.
I'm
I
probably
mean,
gonna love it. I'll play it,
at
dude.
this point, I'm committed to supporting Remedy and commit.
Let's talk about that whole PlayStation
Okay.
event.
No.
What was you seeing that you liked?
Trying to think back. Oh,
I wrote down what I thought was important.
so the number one thing that I really, and this is the game that will probably make me get a PS5. Like I want a PS5 anyway, but Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
I love Spider-Man 1 so much. I played through that campaign twice. I don't play through replay campaigns anymore. Like that's just not, I don't do that. But I replayed through the campaign of Spider-Man 2. Or Spider-Man, sorry, the first one. And I love that game so much. It's everything I wanted in a Spider-Man and more. I want to play Miles Morales, and seeing Spider-Man 2, where it's literally Peter Parker and Miles Morales teaming up against Venom, is just like the hype levels for me was just like sweet, like awesome. I really want to play that. There's a couple other things that they kind of announced. I was like, okay, this is going to be real controversial. God of War just didn't do it for me. I've tried to play that game. I need to just push through and continue playing because I think that story is so good from everything that I've heard about it. I love what they're the storylines that they're doing and some of the themes that they're going with and playing with in Ragnarok. So I want to push through. I need to push through God of War.
I really liked God of War, but I don't think I like it as much as some people. Like some people's like their favorite game ever.
Yeah.
Including like one of my friends, Chris, that I was talking to recently in my Discord. But it's like, it's not. I didn't love it that much, but it was real good. And also, that was like, not to like talk about my setup, but like I had just installed some like actually tower speakers.
Oh yeah, that was when you did that.
And when what's the thing's name? The snake.
The world serpent.
Whatever the freaking world serpent's name is, dude, when he freaking talked to my speakers, it blew my mind. I was like, what am I even doing? This is amazing.
Jomunker?
Sure.
The world serpent. It's some weird Nordic
dude,
thing.
When he talked, my speakers blew me back into the couch and like knocked my couch through the wall. It was so good. I was like, I love video games.
You just like sit back, just like,
yeah, I was like, and
witness me.
I thought that game was good. Spider-Man though, I freaking love Spider-Man 1.
Yeah.
I'm a big Spider-Man boy. They had all kinds of tie-ins to the old comics, to like various elements. Like, oh, dude, Spider-Man was so freaking good. I think I called you when I beat Spider-Man. I was like, "This is what you felt like when we played Arkham City," because you're a Batman fan. And Arkham City was a good game, but like, I didn't love it the way that some people did.
I did,
and I loved Spider-Man so much. So Miles Morales was great too.
I'll say it. Spider-Man is a better game than Arkham City. Like I can't defend that.
That's hard to compare. There's like a decade between them.
and
hey, but I'm an Arkham Knight defender, dude. Arkham Knight. A lot of people hate on
Arkham Knight or Arkham Asylum.
Knight, dude. I think Knight is awesome.
You will defend Knight.
I think Arkham Knight is dope.
Okay, okay.
Do you not like Arkham Knight?
No, I think I prefer Arkham City. I need to play through Arkham Knight again. I want to play through Arkham Knight again.
I played the busted PC version of Arkham Knight, and I thought it was amazing.
I need to figure out if they fixed the PC version because I want to replay that But
I thought Arkham Knight was way better than people gave it credit.
Arkham Knight was a lot of fun, for sure. A lot of fun. What did you think of the Knights of the Old Republic remake announcement?
I'm a little bit excited because I have tried to play KOTOR so many times. I beat Dragon Age and then I beat Mass Effect, and I was like, I gotta play some BioWare games. I want to go back and play KOTOR. That game is just old, dude. It's dated, and that was weird. My camera flipped.
Yeah.
That game is old. It's dated. I've tried, and one of the times I actually got probably 10, 15 hours in, and I was like, I think I've kind of figured out some of this clunkiness, and then another game came out and I started playing it. I lost it, and it was like, I want to play this game. I know people love KOTOR 1 and 2. Excuse me. But it's not an experience that I think I can deal with in this point in my life. I need a little bit more conveniences. And so I'm a little bit excited But
don't you think that would be something that as like a star? I mean, I don't know your kids as well as you do, but like if Star Wars is a really cool thing for them, don't you think that that'd be something that they could get behind and watch you play?
I don't know if they're old.
I mean, maybe not at this age, probably for sure. Like, because there's a lot of reading in that game.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Part of me is like, am I a Star Wars fan anymore? Like, I don't want
to we can't get into this topic.
I don't want to
I have thoughts.
Up a whole can of worms, but like,
I've got thoughts.
I don't know if I'm a Star Wars fan anymore.
Dude, I will say, I've played a lot of KOTOR. I think if they came out with a remake, that would be something like just like the Mass Effect. I want to pick up that game.
I was trying to explain to my wife, to a regular person, I'm a huge Star Wars nerd because I've watched all the movies many times. I've explored like the video games on different levels. I've played the 2 different trading card games. Like, to like a regular person, I'm like a crazy Star Wars nerd. But to like Star Wars fans, I'm such a casual dude.
Yeah,
Like, I don't even know.
I understand.
What the frick do I do? I'm out here. I don't know where I am.
So I'm excited about that. The only other thing that really stood out for me,
dude, what about that Wolverine game? Did they show any gameplay? Because I didn't see any.
It was just a trailer. It was just a cinematic trailer.
They're making a Wolverine freaking game.
Did you see the studio who's making it?
Yeah,
Insomniac.
Yeah,
like, okay, cool.
I'm so curious.
Here's my thought, and I was talking to my friend Joe about this. Insomniac did such a great thing with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That like they knocked it out of the park. And part of the reason that they were able to do that was because one of the core things that everyone loves about that game is swinging, is the movement in that game. And that is what they nailed. Like they nailed the story too. Like the story is awesome. But like the movement in that game is what sets it apart and makes it as special as it is. I don't know how you make a Wolverine game feel that special. Because that in any way that it's not just a hack and slash.
Let's do Michael pitches a game.
Okay.
So if I were to make a Wolverine game, and I know that I have the strengths that Insomniac has, what I would do is I would not make it open world, because of course I'd never make games open world, even though I like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I would not make it open world. What I would do is I would make Wolverine like Crisis 1. Where it's not open world,
it's semi-open world.
You have like a huge area to play in that you can approach in a sandbox style way, and it doesn't need to be massive like a Spider-Man world because you can't swing. Wolverine could run, he could do these things, but he's obviously superhuman still. He's got powers like Crisis. I would want a scenario where you can approach it stealthy, you can approach it loud, you can approach it like Crisis any way that you want to, but you want to approach it from whatever angle you want to, so that you get the sandbox playground type experience without needing the open world thing, and then you can focus on cutscenes and stuff for getting the story across. I don't know. I didn't see the trailer. I don't know anything about it. I don't know what part of his life it's in.
You didn't miss anything. The only things that it was just a cinematic trailer. It wasn't any gameplay. It was a broken bar, and some dudes were coming up behind a dude at the bar who was sitting there on a stool taking a drink, and they were going to beat him up. And then it cuts over to in front of the guy, and all you see is his fists, and then you just see the claws come out, and that's it.
Okay, you're going to see, so you're going to probably be dealing with evolved Batman combat, which is what you, duh. Yes. And I would like to see that sort of approach, but who knows what they're going to do. I think having when you're comparing their open world games, which did they make
Sly Cooper?
Who made Sunset Overdrive?
That was it wasn't Insomniac.
Oh, okay.
Wait, was it? It was Insomniac, actually.
It was Insomniac.
Yes. It was Insomniac. Yeah, because they made
yeah. So they're making games that the traversal is something fun, and I don't think Wolverine necessarily has that aspect.
Yeah, I don't, because he's literally just a dude running around. Which you can do games like that. That's fine. I don't know.
I don't think open world is the best option for that when you're. Yeah.
I don't know what they bring to the table, though, that sets it apart.
Crisis 1 is a freaking underrated game. and it's underrated because nobody could play it at the time because it was PC only and it required a beast.
Oh, they did Resistance.
Those games are not good.
No, they're not.
Those games are quite awful, frankly.
So this is also the Ratchet and Clank people.
Did you play
Which Ratchet and Clank, the new one, was really good. I want to play the new one when it comes out.
Did you play
What?
Frick, it's gone. It's completely gone.
Insomniac game?
I don't remember if it was Insomniac or not. Anyway. Yeah. Oh, Crysis. Did you play Crysis?
Oh yeah. I love Crysis.
Crysis 1 is so good.
Crysis 1 I think is my favorite for sure. Like
Crysis 1 is so good. Mm-hmm. And nobody knows because it required too much PC.
Dude, that was the game when it came out. It's like, you need NASA supercomputers to run this game.
And I played it way longer, and I had to turn the graphics down.
It was like a nerd badge of honor. If you had a PC, I remember, like, if you had a PC that could play Crysis, like, dude, I got a PC, it can play Crysis. It's like, what? How is that possible? Crysis 2 and 3 are like, whatever. But like Crysis 1 is awesome.
Crysis 1 is so good. I wish we had more games like Crysis. Holy frick. Did you see the trailer for Forspoken?
Yeah, I did see it.
It kind of looked cool to me.
Really?
It's like a Portal fantasy, and the graphics look so good. Dude, I'm loving the graphics of these new systems when they actually show them off. I just don't know what Forspoken is going to be, and it looks like it's just going to be one of... I don't mean this derogatorily. It looks like it might just be one of those like anime games where you fight on empty battlefields, and there's nothing in there except you fight on empty battlefields and there's story. Yeah. I want it to be more than that. I want the world to like be a thing that you interact with, but it looked kind of rad to me still.
Yeah. We should talk about Deathloop.
I know nothing about Deathloop, and I know it came out and people are loving it though.
GameSpot gave it a 10.
Yeah, I think
like
okay, here's the thing about Deathloop. I knew nothing about Deathloop going in, but people are calling it immersion sim, and that's confusing me because I never would have assumed it was an immersion sim.
Weird. That I wouldn't have. I'm trying to think. I mean, I don't know how to respond to that.
For comparison, people that don't know what an immersion sim is, BioShock, Skyrim, Fallout, like these are immersion sims.
Red Dead.
Well, probably Red Dead 2, yeah.
Not Red Dead 1, Red Dead 2 for sure.
Yeah. Like I never would have assumed that about the game. Yeah. But I don't know what to think about it, and I want to know. I want to play it, but I haven't.
Yeah, that game is. They showed more trailers of it. That game, I didn't realize it was coming out so soon.
There was a period where I knew every single 10 that GameSpot gave out, and I don't anymore.
Oh, that list is like doubled in the last like 5 years. Like it's kind of stupid. No,
there was we talked about this last week when they fired all their freaking writers. Their site took a dump. Hey, who knew?
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of. They showed some other stuff. There's a couple other anime stuff. I think Alan's going to be super excited about. They showed more trailer about Rainbow Six Extraction. More content for that.
Slightly more gameplay.
And then they've got Guardians of the Galaxy, which I'm not sold on that game.
My brother talked about thinking it looked cool at E3, but it's not. I don't know. It's not my thing.
Nothing about the Avengers game did anything for me. Like I don't think Crystal Dynamics is developed.
It looked like what's that game that BioWare made that completely flopped on the Vine? It looked like a worse version of that.
Anthem.
Yeah, it looked like a worse version of Anthem to me. But like skinned with superhero,
Anthem.
like knockoff MCU actors.
So Anthem is part of the EA pack or whatever that you get, like their subscription service.
Have you played it then?
No, but that subscription service is now part of Game Pass. So if you get Game Pass, you get all those EA games.
So I could play Anthem if I wanted to.
We could play Anthem, and I'm seriously like kind of wanted to at least try it and see.
Kind of bad.
The concept
looked really good. Oh yeah, the concept seemed awesome.
Mm-hmm. That's the part that was selling me. We'll see how it goes.
And then I do a let's play of Alan Wake Remastered.
We should do a let's play of just Alan Wake. Like, why do we need? We don't need the remaster. We own Alan Wake like 10 times.
Copies of Alan Wake.
Yes, with the original
The thing
soundtrack.
is, I'm hoping they just do some of the cleanup work they need to do. Plus, I want to see that actor's face even better.
And Gran Turismo. They announced a new Gran Turismo.
I literally intentionally chose to not put that on my notes because who cares?
Dude, it's cars.
Who cares?
That
No, I care about Forza fine enough. Forza Horizon, the new Forza Horizon game looks all right. I don't give a crap about Gran Turismo, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry if people care.
I love Horizon so much. Like Forza Horizon is like one of the best. It's one of my favorite car experiences. Forza Horizon 3 is one of my favorite car experiences ever. It's so much fun.
I wanted it to be better. I didn't love it.
Four for me was that, where I was like, I wanted to love it more than I actually did.
What if Forza Horizon was Need for Speed Carbon or Need for Speed Most Wanted? Those were good games, dude. Need for Speed Carbon was so freaking good.
When is the last time you watched a cutscene from Need for Speed Carbon?
It's a long time. They look
you
like
should pull. You should pull
pretty bad FMV.
You should pull up something like that. They're so bad.
I imagine so, dude. Well, dude, it's like watching the old Red Alert stuff. Like, holy crap! I love FMV.
It's so good. Well, that's what they tried to do with that Need for Speed 2015 game, where they actually had FMV, and I heard the FMV was like what it was supposed to be. The game just wasn't good.
Yeah.
So they've got that new.
All the Remedy games have FMV. They're just utilized differently.
They've got that new Need for Speed game also. That's also part of that EA pack. I want to love Need for Speed again, dude.
I was gonna say I want to love Need for Speed, but I don't have it.
I watched Tokyo Drift for the first time like a couple weeks ago.
Is it the only one you haven't seen?
That was the one that was missing because I couldn't rent it on when I did my watch party for it.
Yeah.
7. I haven't seen 8 or 9 yet.
Okay, same.
Fate of the Furious. I think you bought that movie, and we were going to watch it. We just never did.
We should. We live in the same town again.
We live.
I also have never seen John Wick 3.
You're okay.
Oh, dude, that hurts. I love
John Wick. Dude, I was kind of bummed when I came out of that movie. I was just like,
oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it's not as good.
What we're talking about? Oh, Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say about Fast and Furious 3?
Oh, like, man, so good. Like, I want that culture back. Like when it was just like, and it's kind of the same vibe that I got when I think of like Too Fast and Furious.
This is so anti-Alan, dude.
Well, we can do what we want.
Oh my goodness.
No, it's that dumb. What up, cuz?
Dude, I love the Fast and Furious
so much. Like that, all that stuff, and it's just it's just. And then Tokyo Drift gets into like the Yakuza, and it's just like, oh, and I finally found out like how Han like dies, quote unquote.
Oh yeah,
it's just like, oh, this is just so stupid. And
we saw 7, so you've seen that scene.
Yeah, well, that was the thing, is that
Tokyo Drift context kind of
took place. Yeah, it's completely out of context. Like it's just them trying to patch their own universe together.
I just love the Fast and Furious universe is complicated enough to need that. It makes me so happy.
It needs a wiki. It's like,
are you in my campaign that Fast and Furious 3 and 4 are the worst movies in the series?
4, I would say, is the worst.
4 is awful.
I don't know if I would say 3 is. If I put 3 as the second bet, if I put it as the second worst, it's only because all the other ones are so good.
You like 3?
I liked 3.
I wish I liked 3, but I don't. 4 is awful.
I don't like 3 as much as 1 or 2 or 5.
1 is 6, amazing,
but
1 is a cinematic masterpiece that brings me to literal tears every time I watch it. I'm not kidding. People don't believe me when I say that.
It's true. Guys.
Hey, remember the Fast and Furious video game came out? I never played that. Did you?
Ooh, that was when the actress who plays what's her name? Letty. She came on. She talked about Tekken. She came on the.
Did she call Tekken?
She's like, because they came on. I think it was at the Game Awards last year. She came on stage. It was like they were pumping their Fast and Furious game, and she's like, "I remember when we're making the movies and we played Tekken backstage," and it was just everyone was just like, "What?" You can find a clip. It's on the internet.
Frick, dude.
Shit. So yeah, I think that overall the PS5 conference, I wasn't anything that kind of blew me away. It was just like Spider-Man 2 was just like sweet, awesome. Everything else was
everyone in the comments, you need to type how much you love God of War and how wrong Andrew is.
I'll take it. Like for real, I will take it.
How far did you make it?
Not very far. Part of the problem with that is that I felt that I didn't understand the combat. I was having a real hard time meshing with that combat, and so I was losing almost every encounter. And part of it was because I was trying to go faster than the game wants you to. You need to go really slow in that, and that's just not my thing. Go to
it's for a series that came from Devil May Cry type roots. It's a lot more Dark Souls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so I need to just pick it up again. I still got my save. I need to just pick it up again and just like with that mindset.
It's like Control, where at the beginning it's very weird, but it almost takes a certain number of unlocks for you to get a certain number of like abilities to where it actually clicks.
Yeah.
Control for me, which is a game I ended up loving, I think I bounced off like 4 times.
I bounced off Control once so far, and when I had bought my new monitor, I wanted to go back and play it, and I never did, and now I can't.
It's actually good, and there is a point where it gets a lot better. But
sure.
Anyway, excuse me. Did you have anything? That conference was good. Anybody else want to in the comments leave what you were interested in the conference? Alan could talk about his Weeb games next week when he's on the show.
So when you were watching the live stream, and then you had to leave, and so I kind of picked up the notes and kind of kept post updating in our chat, and literally an anime comes on. All I put is a Weeb game for Alan.
Was that the Ghostwire Tokyo?
It's the one that you referred to as a Japanese post-apocalyptic technopunk ARPG.
Oh, I don't remember which one that was.
Project Eve. Eve.
Yeah, that looked
not like an Alan game.
That did not look like a me game. I'm sorry.
No. So, I want to, but yeah, that as far as like that conference, that was kind of, I was just like, okay, whatever. Like, I didn't feel like there was anything that kind of blew me away.
What you have any major games you're waiting for the rest of the year?
Yes. Forza Horizon 5. I'm looking forward to that. Battlefield, the new Battlefield, which they actually announced, it just got delayed. The production just got delayed. I only think like a couple weeks or a month or something like that. It's just November 19th now.
You want to know something funny?
What's up?
My son, you don't want to know what game he's most excited for?
What game is he excited for?
Mario Party Superstars.
Oof.
He doesn't know what Mario Party is, but he is obsessed with that trailer and he wants it so bad. He has birthday money saved up. He wants to buy it.
Oh, wow.
And he's like, I want this game. And I'm like, dude, I don't know how to be like not crushing his dreams. Be like, dude, it's Mario Party. Like, don't be like too excited because it's freaking Mario Party. But he might like it. I don't know. He's 4.
You know what? Mario Party I think is super fun as a kid. I had so much fun as a kid playing Mario Party 5. Like that was, I get it.
Playing Mario Party as the dad to a 4-year-old just kind of seems like
just don't do 50 turns. It'll be fun.
We definitely won't do 50 turns, but it's just like it's one of those things where like we played Mario Golf together, and you know how like in golf, well, unless you're playing like one of the simultaneous modes, it's kind of like turn takey.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a long time for a 4-year-old to play golf.
Well, he's got to line up his shot, man. He's taking this seriously.
Man. Yeah, dude. So anyway,
yeah, for the rest of this year, I think it's just Battlefield's kind of the big one for me. They released the new Elite Dangerous expansion. I have not spent enough time in that. I need to get back into that.
Have they ever made multiplayer fun and worth doing?
No.
Suck.
Which is really sad. I mean, there's like arenas that you can go into, but the open world stuff is literally just cargo missions still. And like, if you want to do bounty stuff, you can do that, but you've got to learn combat. But that game is so not user friendly. That's a game that you need to sit down and you just. I
love Elite Dangerous. I wish it loved me back.
The new expansion is they're trying to get Space Leg set up, and that's the new addition that they've added. Where you can literally get out and walk on the planets, and they've got like shooter missions, where you like are storming complexes.
Before I had children, I did so much space trucking while my wife watched TV, dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My favorite. This is a good conversation. Might be a conversation for another time. But like, do you remember Rebel Galaxy?
Yeah.
The space trucker that was Rebel Galaxy. I played
Did you play 2?
I never played 2.
Okay.
I played the heck out of 1 though. Every year for several years. A tradition of mine was pick up a game over Christmas break because I'd usually take about a week off of Christmas, between Christmas and New Year's. I just have the whole week off of work, and I'd find some random game on Steam that I was like, this looks cool, or I've heard about this and this seems fun. One year it was Rebel Galaxy. Another year it was Subnautica. There's like just different games that I've gotten super into, and Rebel Galaxy I jumped so many hours and just min-maxing my ships.
Nice.
So is there anything specifically you're looking forward to?
I don't know, man. Like,
is Legends of Arceus coming out this year?
I don't think so.
I think it's next year. I think
I'm looking forward to the whatever the crap, the Until Dawn people. They're making the 3rd game. It comes out around Halloween.
Are we ever going to get a live stream of you and Ellen going through?
I don't know. Getting a live stream may be harder technologically for that, but we have talked about it. Yeah, I'm curious because I felt like there was a bunch of Game Pass games, but they're not coming to the top of my brain right now.
Oh, January 28th for Pokemon.
Okay.
I said 2022, and I got bummed out because I'm like, that's a long ways away. I'm like, wait, it's 2021, man.
Yeah, I'll play that. So,
yeah.
Anyway, I think that'll about wrap it up for this week's episode. Yeah. Hopefully, Alan will be able to join us next week, and maybe I'll get kicked back to my guest spot. We'll find out. It's a revolving host chair at this show. Thank you for listening. Leave comments down below with your thoughts. Especially if you disagreed with anything that we said. Yeah. We love to fight with people. Leave a thumb up on the video. If
anyone who watched last week's episode knows how much Alan and Mike like to fight with each other.
we're secretly frenemies. Subscribe to the channel if you like the show and you want to see more episodes of it. There's also a podcast version of this. I don't know if we link that in the description. I should, but there's a podcast version of this if you'd rather just listen to the audio.
On a good drive, you're on a Sunday drive with your wife, and you're like, "Hey, I heard this really cool thing on the internet. We should listen to it."
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So there is a podcast version of that. It should be on your pretty much all your podcast feeds, but I will make a link for that in the YouTube feed just so that people do know about it. But yeah, there's also links down below to our socials, and I run another YouTube channel that's down there.
Literally, our social security numbers. They're down below.
I accidentally sent my son. So I was trying to sign him up for insurance. I accidentally sent my son's social security number to our whole company chat. That was funny.
Well, gotta change that now.
Nice thing is, Google Hangouts has changed it so you can delete messages now.
Oh,
so I was able to delete it because somebody next to me was like, "Hey, you realize that was the group chat, right?" I'm like, "Frick." Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. We hope to see you again next week. Until next time, do we have an outro? Alan usually says, "Revolution X."
That'll work. Now it's just me. I don't think he meant to do that.
SML
Hey, it's okay, me in the audience. We had a good conversation.
I love you to know.